2023. Please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Okay.
All the way. Want to move over, Cindy?
Somebody else is
Here.
occupying it clearly. Supervisor Schneiderman?
Here.
Councilwoman McNamara?
Here.
Councilman Martell?
Here.
Councilman Councilman Bouvier.
John will not be present today. He has an
Okay.
excused absence. Tommy John is running a little late and will join us soon. So,
Okay,
okay?
yep,
So,
all good.
all right, so the first thing on the agenda is actually the agenda for the July 11th meeting. So why don't you grab that? There's also a bunch of additions to it, 12 additions. So why don't we take a look at it and see if we need to make any changes. All right, so this again is going to be for July 11th. It's going to be a 1 p.m. meeting here at Town Hall, hybrid. There are a total of 10 public hearings, so could go on. The first one, public hearing on the acquisition of land of Joan Dominikas. That's at 25 Whalers Drive in Sag Harbor. The second one is land, possible acquisition of land of Lori Leonard. That is sort of above the North Sea Athletic Complex, adjoining another piece that we own. The third one is a hearing to consider a portion of lands of Villa JJILS LLC located at 212 Little Noyak Path in Watermill. Fourth one is a hearing to amend local law, Chapter 244, Transfer of Development Rights Program to acknowledge the inclusion of sanitary flow credits. The next two are also related to that, amending Chapter 330-7, acknowledging transfer of sanitary credits, and the sixth one, amending 330-9, density incentive provision to acknowledge inclusion of sanitary flow credits. Seventh public hearing is to accept the deed of open space dedication in connection with a site disturbance plan for 378 Watermill Town Road. The eighth public hearing amends Town Code Chapter 312-20 to designate no parking on the center median of Maryland Boulevard, Hampton Bays. I don't know if there's been any movement there, but that's
Yeah, we expect a
continuation.
few more people to show up this time.
Okay, the ninth public hearing for enforcement action at 6 Ashwood Court, North Sea, to remove hazardous accumulation of material. And my understanding from
It's all good, we're just
from
gonna
code
close
is
that.
the whole thing has been cleaned up and good. So we have the hearing notice, so we still have to hold the hearing. We can close it. The 10th public hearing enacts a new Chapter 316 entitled Moratorium on Battery Energy Storage Systems to prohibit new applications pursuant to 330-162.21 for 3 months. I expect a number of people to come out on that. All right.
Can I-
Just a little scrivener's error, that should be chapter 314. The clerk said she would change
Can I ask a
The
question?
10th public hearing is 314?
it. Yeah.
It was noticed correctly, so we're going to consider this a scrivener's error and just fix this.
Can I?
Okay, go ahead, Cindy.
I just wanted, how do we decide what order in which the public hearings, is it just?
We can change it right now. You want to do that one first?
Can we,
Supervisor
can we
says
move that
to-
one up? It's a new public hearing, some of the others are just holdovers, and I just feel like, having that on 10th might discourage some people from coming out to speak.
The only thing is having that other one on first. Everybody else will have to wait, though, potentially.
Can we just move it up to, say, number 4 in front of the ones on the sanitary credits?
Yeah,
Because then everything after that is all stuff that's been left over or held
yeah,
over.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So you want to move 10 to make it number 4?
4, and then leave everything else in line.
And so 4 becomes 5, 5 becomes 6, 6 becomes 7, 7 becomes 8. It would have been actually easier to take number 4 and make it number 12.
Yeah.
All right, but then 8 becomes 9, 9 becomes 10. Sonny, you got that?
I do. Thank you.
Okay. And then, let's see, so then we got resolutions. I'll read for Tommy John and John. 43661, authorize information technology staff to amend cybersecurity summit. 43714, authorizes me to sign a satisfaction mortgage on a community development block grant loan. 43738, authorizes me to execute a 2023 renewal with Bentley Systems, Inc. for their ProcureWare cloud-hosted software solution to manage the town's operations for bidding and contracts. 43214, authorizes the controller to hire Robert Half account temps. That's what you read?
43698, award and authorize supervisor to sign contract with Enver Osdemer for a mobile ice cream concession for the Ground Park.
43749, award and authorize the supervisor to sign a contract for Round Pond stormwater improvements with Delalio Coal and Stone Company, Inc., doing business at South Fork Asphalt.
43727, recall and amend Resolution 2023-584, consulting contract with H2M Architects, Engineers, Land Surveying, ATAL, to provide on-call engineering services to the Hampton Bays Water District.
That's the one we got an email about.
No, that's in the new packet, I believe.
Yeah, this
This is
isn't,
just a funding change.
this doesn't include the SCADA system.
All right,
Referring to the grant?
no, the Superintendent Cappers asked us to approve H2M as our consulting engineers on, I think on it, maybe
SCADA?
Good, yeah.
on a
That's in the
particular
walk on the add-ons.
without going to bid. All right, so that, all right, so I'm at 43680, allocation of ARPA coronavirus federal grant for Flanders Ambulance General Operating Expenses. It's a $200,000 grant. 43659 amends the 23 to 27 capital budget based on debt reduction policy. 43, just on that last one, so we have this policy that if we end up with additional reserves beyond what we had anticipated, that 75% of it goes to offset anticipated borrowing. So this is taking 2.254 million and using it for debt reduction. All right, and 43658 amends the 23 through 27 capital budget for Riverside Maritime Trail Park Plan and West Hampton Transfer Station Improvement Project. 43526, resolution of adoption amending Town Code Chapter 283 Special Events in order to enhance enforcement ability, clarify definitions, and restructure application procedures.
Page 29.
43441, resolution of adoption amending Town Code Chapter 312-20 to designate no parking on the center median of Maryland Boulevard, Hampton Bays, New York.
43678, hello, Councilman.
Good morning.
Authorization of cost reimbursement waiver for the Greek Orthodox Church Hamptons Greek Festival, July 13th through July 16th, 2023. 43681, authorization of cost reimbursement waiver for the Hampton Bays Fire Department Parade on August 2nd, 2023.
Sunday, if I could be added to 681 and 682 after that, please.
Me as well.
Yeah, me as well. So 43682, authorization of cost reimbursement waiver for Hampton Bays Fire Department Carnival, August 1st through August 6th. 43417, we're on page 33.
Thank you.
23 part-time salaries.
Town Board Resolution ID 43712, appoint James Kiernan to Police Chief, Town of Southampton from Civil Service List.
And we'll co-sponsors on that. 43741 accepts disability retirement of Police Officer Warren Galloway from Southampton Town Police Department. Why is it in that order, the police chief appointment? Anybody know?
The sponsors?
43712, appointing Chief Kieran, now that he was provisional, now he's chief. Why aren't I the lead sponsor on that?
It's probably the way, I don't know this, but it's probably the way it was entered into the system. It was probably the way it was just checked off.
Do you mind making that my resolution?
Not at all.
Cindy, you got that?
Got it.
Just changing the order. 43741 accepts disability retirement of Police Officer Warren Galloway from Southampton Town Police Department. 43743 accepts Brendan Morris to Police Permits Examiner position in Building Department.
Could I be added as a co-sponsor, please?
Sure.
43711 appoints Wendy Zuckerman to Senior Office Assistant position, Human Resources. 43648 accepts resignation of Ricky Larius, Town Investigator in Public Safety. Tommy John, you're next.
Town Board Resolution 43745, a notice of public hearing to consider amending Chapter 164-6.4 hazardous accumulations to enhance enforcement ability and create an additional charge for residentially zoned properties.
So that, tell us a little bit about this.
This is an addition, an amendment to our code to address potential hazardous materials being stored in residential areas by homeowners, and it increases the fine and gives our code enforcement more abilities.
Doesn't give him any more abilities, I don't think. It doesn't do anything, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't do anything.
I suppose
to-
I could charge more and make it, it makes it a misdemeanor rather than just a violation.
That's the next one.
No, that's in this one.
No, it's not.
Any conviction hazardous
another-
material shall be deemed an unclassified misdemeanor level offense and punishable by a fine not less than $1,000. It's in this one. That's-
Habit.
We're on 43747.
Yeah, where do you see that?
That's the one section that's being added. Any conviction of section
Okay, I see it.
164-6.4 hazardous.
Town Board Resolution 437-47.
Where are you
Why
now?
did you just do this?
Oh, you
as-
just
The
read
next
that,
one.
this one you just read.
No, now there's
We were
another
just
one.
on
I don't know why it was
Right.
done as two separate
There's
ones.
two separate
Is
Yeah,
there
resolutions.
and
two?
it's
Oh.
two different parts of the code that
Oh,
need
so
to be
maybe-
updated
all right,
in order
so-
for it to
Could've
be
been a-
I'm
comprehensive.
confused then, so it's 43745 is the one you read, not for, I'm reading from 43747.
That's the
Right.
All right, so the first one,
Should have been
Um,
one. No.
all right, defines all the
Mm-hmm.
issues,
Mhm.
and the second one, 43747, is the one that makes it a misdemeanor. Okay.
That's correct, and I
Yeah.
gave kind of the,
I'm not sure why it was done.
But just so I'm clear on
It
this,
didn't need to be.
there would still need to be an enforcement action like we did previously to remove any of the stuff.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so 43747 is notice of public hearing to consider amending chapter 164, 6.5 penalties to increase penalty for 164 hazardous accumulations. That's Tommy John's resolution. And then 43694 is a notice of hearing to accept conservation easement in connection with the Lewis Road PRD.
And then the next one, I don't know why I'm on this one first. Resolution ID 43695, notice of public hearing to accept the deeds of dedication in connection with the Lewis Road PRD, perhaps because I'm the East Quogue liaison.
Okay, I don't know. 43668, notice of public hearing to consider amending section 312-12 in order to implement stop sign pilot at David White's Lane at the intersection of North Sea, Mecox Road, Watermill, New York. Hold on. I don't think it's- At David White's Lane intersection of North Sea, Mecox Road. There is
No,
there's a stop in one direction. There's a stop on North Sea, Mecox Road. You want to put another stop sign?
Apparently,
wait.
Tom was saying there's been 5 accidents there in the last
David White's.
couple of months. I don't think there's anything there now. You just stop because you're at the end of the street and you have to go left or right. I don't know if anybody,
Oh, yes, my father had an accident.
5.
Because he
It's bad.
stopped and somebody behind him just didn't, because there's no stop sign, so
Yeah.
didn't expect him to stop.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to stop to see what's coming.
So when
Should-
you come up
it should
David
be a stop
White's and
sign.
you hit North Sea, Mecox.
You hit that T, yeah.
You have a stop sign there. And if you're coming down David White's, you have a stop sign there. But North Sea, Mecox does not have a stop sign there. I mean, I'm at that intersection every day. It's to make it a 4-way stop.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of traffic in the afternoons on that road.
The mornings also, it's a disaster.
I'm not sure how I feel about this one, but Tom is saying there's a lot of accidents
There's
there.
been
He
5.
said there were 5 in a very short period of time.
You know,
And that's like an automatic. It's not
no,
really,
what's happening there is the farmland on the west side of the road. I guess they rotate the crops. So right now, it's just grass growing, and it's blocking, it makes it very hard to see. If that were to be cut back a little bit, it would be easier.
but I don't think you have a choice, is what my point is. I think with 5, when it hits a certain point, it becomes an automatic. They have to put a stop sign in from a traffic engineering standpoint.
So
Yeah,
he's doing it as a pilot program to see what it does to traffic.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but, whose resolution is it?
It's John and
and
I's, yeah.
Rick. By default, I think, right?
Yeah, it's Tom's.
I mean, it's one of those roads that get a lot of traffic in the afternoon, as people go back west. So it will create another backlog there.
Which
I just,
that's
have
gonna
to-
push it
and
down
really,
that block.
the issue there is,
Oh, this one. Okay.
I believe the issue
Took me a while.
is the vegetation. You can't see.
Maybe you can talk to Tom in the interim and see.
Yeah, maybe we could talk to the farmer. Anyway, all right, so let's keep going.
43702, notice of public hearing to consider enacting Chapter 74, establishing an animal welfare restricted account. So this and the next 2 public hearings are this one is to establish an animal welfare restricted account so that we can, in the next resolution, the next public hearing is to allow appropriation of justice court fees to that account. And then the third and final one is to consider amending the dogs and other animals code to add, there's some changes to definitions, there's some changes as far as who is responsible. It's changing it from the animal shelter supervisor to the town department.
This is for people who are convicted of
Yeah, so
abusing animals?
So when we usually do this now, Sean has been adding like a mitigation, like a blight mitigation fund fee or something. And so that's kind of what was happening with this, but I asked that we form a new account for animal welfare specific to this chapter, so that anybody that's convicted of fines in this chapter would pay a $100 surcharge to an animal welfare account, which can be used for spay-neuter clinics, can be used for emergency treatment of animals, and a few other things as per whatever the town board deems appropriate. Rather than have it go to some generic blight fund, or I felt the fine imposed should go specifically to animal welfare.
And the collection of the fees would still be done by the Justice Court
Yes.
Administration?
And administered by the controller.
And then administration would be by the animal shelter, how they,
No, it'd be by the controller and the town board. It doesn't go
Oh, it
go
doesn't go-
specifically to
okay.
the animal shelter, it goes to the town. The controller we would be able to say what it was. The animal could actually come to us and say, we want to do a spay-neuter clinic, do you have funding available for it? And the town board could decide
okay.
to offset it with with part of this fund, but we're not beholden
So
to.
that section of the code, section 8-6.4, that has to do with animal abuse?
Yes, well, animal abuse, it's not really, it's, you know, people that are, it has to do with breeders, it has to do with, you know, how you store, you know, how you have your dogs. It's the whole section of basically town code having to do with animals, service animals, licensing, all of that is in here.
So wait a second, there is no section 8-64 yet, right?
There's no chapter,
8.64 would be the appropriation of justice court fees to animal welfare reserve account.
yes.
And so then the first public hearing,
The first public hearing, it enacts, it makes a new chapter, 74, which creates the fund. The next public hearing allows the appropriation of justice court fees to that account. And then the final one puts that account in the penalty section and also changes some definitions in that code where it's being appropriated from. Does that make sense? So we had to create the account, we had to create the mechanism to use the account, and we had to put that account in the penalty section of the actual code.
so we just might want to, are they in the proper order?
They should be.
So the third one considers amending chapter 150, dogs and other animals, to update definitions, update fines,
And add the
and
welfare
add
surcharge.
animal welfare surcharge.
So we have to create the surcharge
Maybe that
before
should
we
be
can
the
add it.
first one?
We have to create it before we can add it. I feel like we can do all three public hearings, we can open them all at the same time, they're
Just
all,
close them out just separately. You'll
yeah.
call them all.
And Christie, should we do the third one first? Which,
The third one is the notice of public to consider enacting to allow for the appropriation. No, I would create the fund first.
Mhm.
well, first, the third one is the one that says that there's a penalty. All right.
I would create the fund, impose the penalty, and then allow for the
Okay.
justice court appropriation. Is that the way it's in? It's
Mhm,
in
that's the way
is it?
it's- that's
Okay,
the way
yeah,
it's-
that's the way I would do it.
All right.
And those public hearings are all on
25th.
July 25th at 6.
It's raising the fees also.
Yes.
So, all right. So then we'll,
Actually, it's not in that order.
I have it in my order. Oh, you want that before
This
the
should be-
appropriation?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it should be establishment of the thing, of the fund, where the money is going to be sent to, which this is that, and then allowing the money to be sent.
Wouldn't that be?
Right?
Yeah, but, okay.
I would just switch 2 and 3.
Does that matter for the public hearing?
I don't
though?
think, no, it doesn't make a difference. Because
For
you're
adoption, it
gonna
does.
you're gonna open them separately, hear them together, close them out separately. When you do the notices, the resos of adoption, you can do them in the order that you want.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, makes sense. So for the public hearings, the order doesn't really matter.
it doesn't really matter. It might be a little confusing to the public, but I don't think it matters. So if people want to speak to it, they're going to be speaking to all three.
All of it,
Yeah.
yeah.
We might have a cart before the horse, before the dog.
For the dog.
I didn't
As
even
long
know.
as long as the horse is properly
We
treated.
had to add
It's
ponies
not really fair
to,
to
or
the horse, though,
was
to
it
have the cart in front.
mini horses had to be added as a service animal.
Another dog and pony show. All right, let's move on.
John, we hear
Okay,
this would
Town
go
Board
on for another
Resolution
2
ID
hours.
43744, authorize H2M Architects and Engineers to file grant application with the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation on behalf of the Hampton Bays Water District pursuant to the Water Infrastructure Improvement Act.
43746, assumes lead agency issues positive deck for supplemental environmental generic impact statement for the siting and construction of community sewage treatment plant in the hamlet of Riverside.
43748, authorize the supervisor to execute a professional engineering services contract with H2M Architects, Engineers, Land Surveying for upgrade for SCADA system and upgrade of tank monitoring.
Sunday, could I be added as a co-sponsor to 43746?
Certainly.
Tell me, John, do you want to read the next couple?
Sure. 43750, co-sponsored by Councilman Bouvier, 2023 notice to bidders for Reeves Creek Bay Catwalk and Barn Restoration. Happy to see that.
Yeah, me too.
43751, again, co-sponsored with Councilman Bouvier, 2023 notice to bidders for Tiana Life Saving Station Restoration. 43752, Councilman Bouvier as well, recall and amend Resolution 2023-711, authorize a survey for Pritchard properties located at 3398 Noyak Road and 146 Old Noyak Road. 43753, sponsored by Councilman Bouvier, recall and amend Resolution 222-877, authorizing the purchase from Delal Concrete Corp. For new retaining walls, staircases, and ADA improvements at Emma Rose Elliston Memorial Park in North Sea. Excuse me. 43754, recall, Councilman Bouvier, recall and amend Resolution 2023-451, authorizing the purchase from Del Al Corporation for ADA improvement at Emma Rose Elliston Park from a DPW contract. 43756, sponsored by Councilman Bouvier, authorize supervisor to sign a contract with L.K. McLean Associates, P.C., to provide professional services for Poxy Bog Pro Shop and Fairway Diner.
Sunday, if I could be added to 756, please.
Certainly.
43757 authorizes the supervisor to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Central Pine Barrens Joint Planning Commission for the management of invasive species. 43758 appoints temporary employee benefits supervisor. 43759 authorizes supervisor to execute letter of intent and the issuance of a purchase order with Verizon as it relates to the Southampton Volunteer Ambulance Building Project. And that's all she wrote. Anybody have any questions?
Nope.
All right. Sunday, you're good to go. All right, who's got any updates?
I'll go first. So the Youth Bureau has their next open mic Friday, August 14th, 6 to 8 p.m., grades 5 through 12 at Good Ground Park. You need to sign up online now, so you could email pstrecker@southamptontowny.gov to get your name on the list for that. Tonight in Good Ground Park is the second of the summer concert series run by the Parks and Recreation. It's a Tom Petty Rumors tribute band at 7 p.m. And it's sponsored by the Hampton Bays Chamber of Commerce. So it's a beautiful night. Let's get out. And last but not least, one reminder that your beach permit, if you didn't renew it, expired July 1st. It's time to renew.
Yeah, I gotta get mine. Cindy, you got anything?
No, just be a beautiful day for the 4th of July parade on Tuesday.
In the village, is right now.
Yeah, I saw you march twice.
I did?
All of a sudden I was like, is that Jay?
Once in the beginning, once at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, got a lot of exercise. It was a really nice crowd.
It was.
Beautiful day for a parade.
And I have to say, the new mayor was definitely on a whirlwind tour of, it was, I haven't seen him that enthusiastic. He was so excited to say hi to everybody and greet everybody in the village. And it was like Tiny Tim coming out on Christmas Day.
Except taller.
Very, very much taller.
Tommy John?
In conjunction with the University of Rhode Island and the Southampton Southampton Hospital, Stony Brook Southampton rather, the TIC advisory program over there, we are looking at going into a program whereby we are going to be installing signs at our trailheads and parks. And on the sign, it has a QR code letting people know what to do for ticks when they are on the trail that day in place. And this is, like I said, a program with the University of Rhode Island. We are going to be hearing more from that from representatives Dr. Scott Campbell with Suffolk County. They're going to come to a work session here and give us a presentation, let us know what this program is, and we would like to get these signs up at our trailheads and parks. And the University of Rhode Island, which has this program throughout the Northeast, wanted to include eastern end of Long Island in their programming so that they can see who's looking at these QR codes and whether or not it actually affects human infection. So it's an interesting program, and it's multi-state, and it's something that we are going to be working on this summer.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, so we have things in executive session. We have acquisitions, confidential legal advice, and litigation. So I'll make a motion to end our work session and go into executive session on those items.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We are adjourned for all other purposes.